Hello, come on in. Let's make a bracelet and chat. I got a little bit of it planned out tonight. Um, Not all of it, but I pulled some things that kind of were in the color scheme that I had planned tonight, and thought we would do it while we chatted a little bit. I noticed that some of y'all are up during the night too. Of course, this isn't as late as last night's chat at midnight, but anyway, I have this piece of heavy chain, and I think it may have been a belt. I can't remember. Um, I've got so much that I have set back for junk bracelets. Hey, come on in, Tammy and Jennifer. Come on in. I'm just doing a little late night crafting and sitting here in my jammies. Uh, and I hooked a really large clip onto it, and I've got it longer than what it really needs to be, but I'd rather have room to spare than have it too short. Of course, I can always sew an extender on it like I did this one. A lot of these junk bracelets I had done, I put long extenders on them. And, but anyway, this one isn't going to be quite as clunky junky as the others. It's still going to be kind of a larger. Uh, Thank you, Jennifer. I thought it gave it kind of a fancier look to the heavier chain. Uh, I think my husband's on the phone, and I don't know if it's coming across on the camera or not. I'm live on YouTube. I don't know if he knows I'm live or not. He's talking to my son, and they get animated and loud sometimes. But anyway, I pulled my thing that I love to do is deconstruct old pieces of jewelry. Um, and use the components in something new. A lot of the pieces that you'll see me pull out have been things that I have resurrected from other pieces, like these little animal print beads. I think these were a bracelet, and I cut them apart. But I want to use these. These are plastic, actually. These are my old clippers. I don't know how I got those. Let's see. There we go. We've been kind of taking a break from selling, and that's some pretty good chain. I might just, I don't know. It's got a little bit of a cheap tarnish to it. I may just toss it. But kind of, I don't want to say I'm burnt out on selling. Eh, I guess I am. In honesty. Obviously, we'll still have some auctions, but I'm just kind of. Ken has to. He doesn't have to. He was asked to preach Sunday morning at the church where we've been working in music, and he's been busy preparing a sermon along with everything else we do, and he just didn't have time to do shipping and stuff this week. So my my bead that I chose as kind of the theme for the bracelet was this one. It's like I guess that's I would call that a wedding cake bead, but I'm not really sure. Well, we have been, and I've enjoyed it. And during the pandemic, especially, it was a outlet. But I don't know. I mean, we're still going to be selling jewelry, obviously. I've cleared out a whole lot of it, and yes, that's what I was going to say. And I wasn't sure whether I should say it or not, Jennifer, but yes. And people, the way it used to be, there was. Uh, it was a community kind of, and you get ready to go on and you go check to be sure you weren't stepping on somebody. And, you know, that's been part of our issue. Like our Tuesday night slot, once we started keeping our grandson, it was not at all convenient. And we work at a church on Wednesday night in another town. It's just been really, really hard to do Tuesday. But I didn't want to change it and step on somebody else, you know. But anyway, I'm not going to get off on that tangent. But you know, a break is nice. But we'll probably be on in a week or so selling. I've got a couple of tubs of sterling I need to go through and get ready, and then still got some nice jewelry. But I cleared out huge bags of the first round was craft wearable. And the second round was a lot of it was marked stuff, you know, um, marked pieces, a lot of nice marked pieces in those bags. So people that got those last round of bags really got some nice stuff. But I had just accumulated like we 55 pounds in 1 week, you know, and I had so much. But what my passion is that I love doing is going through the broken pieces or just the pieces and deconstructing and getting things that I like to use in other things. That's kind of my, my jam or whatever you want to call it. And I mixed the components in. Well, here were some earrings we got, and they were paparazzi, which I don't like to sell anyway, to be honest. Their earrings are good, but um, their earrings are I think they're nickel free. They don't bother my ears, and I have really sensitive ears. But I was going to use like that one earring and, you know, things like that. I like doing that. But I had found this piece, which it ended up getting broken. But just to show you what you can do, I had this old metal butterfly I got off of a really cheap bracelet or necklace, and I painted it with gold nail polish, and it actually turned out right pretty, but it ended up getting broken. But it was just kind of an experiment to see if you could do that, you know, and you can. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm making this bracelet, and I just cut this necklace, and it had a lot of gold beads in it, which I'm not using right now. I'll throw them over here. Although I have been mixing metals lately. There we go. Um, what I'm doing is just taking the T-pins, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing, but running it through the pieces, and most of the pieces will have a little clear uh, seed bead on the bottom to keep them from going through. And I have been doing wrapped loops instead of just simple loops so that um, I don't know. I still will be running a jump ring through there, so I don't know why I may not do all of them wrapped. Some of those stiffer pins are hard to do wrap loops with because they're so stiff. Now, if you get a sterling stick thing, they're so soft, they're so easy to do. But anyway, what I'll probably see what get my reading glasses is what I should probably do. Let's see. Our little grandson, he's just turned 3. We laugh. We say probably a lot because he started saying that about things. If he didn't want to do something, he'll tell you, probably I'm not going to do that, or probably I don't want that. If he thinks it's going to be something you don't want to hear, he'll preface it with probably. And then today, uh, he reeled out with actually, actually, blah blah blah. Okay, let me get my good pliers. If I could just get organized, I would be dangerous. I really would. Now, these are really heavy gauge um, jump rings that I ordered. I actually ordered these from Amazon. I think they're actually bigger than 18. Usually I try to get at least 18. But on these junk bracelets, if you don't, they just don't, they won't hang on there. And I'm just going to randomly find a loop and put that in there. Ew, these are stubborn jump rings. There we go. But I believe once they're on there, they're going to stay. And I only have 2 of that particular bead. I think I'll go on and place those at the same time. Yeah, he is. And my great-granddaughter, my stepson's little girl, who is precious as can be, she'll be 3 in July. And he sent me a picture. We don't see her as much because they're about an hour away, a little over an hour, really. And so I just treasure the pictures they send. And she just looks like a little doll or something. She's so pretty. Her birthday's coming up, and I'm trying to figure what to get her for her birthday. I just haven't. One year we got her the little stove set, I don't know what we'll do this. We got our grandson, it was ridiculous priced, the Spider-Man hideout for the Spider-Man characters. Can't believe we paid that for a piece of plastic. But anyway, I just don't know what I'm going to get for her. I used to not cover when I clipped wires, and I'd be shooting them all over the office, and Ken would be ducking. Somebody showed me a trick. I mentioned it last night. Using your crimping tool to bend in little wires that stick out and poke people. I've still not mastered it that well yet. I still usually end up just grabbing my pliers and getting it. When I'm making stuff for myself, I don't worry so much about it. When I'm making stuff to sell, I get real neurotic about everything. I don't really enjoy making things to sell as much as I just like making things for myself. Oh, I know. I know. And it's really strange. We've been married a long time. We've been married since 1981. Uh, Eating out, even at McDonald's or something, was kind of a special thing. We didn't do it a great lot. We did it enough. And when we had kids, you had 4 meals to buy. And we ended up saying, okay, you can get 2 things off the dollar menu or whatever. We it was a big deal to us. It wasn't something commonplace. And now it's like Ken and I eat a lot of fast food. Uh, we buy breakfast every day on the way to my daughter's and take it into Parker. But um, we can eat. The 2 of us can eat cheaper than we can buy the food and prepare it. Does that make sense? Now, if you had 4 people, I think the whole formula would be off, you know. But for 2 people, and it's hard to make anything for 2 people, you end up having a lot of leftovers, which theoretically you should eat. We have been eating when groceries went so high. We did start becoming much more conscious of not wasting anything. But I'm just going to randomly pick a loop to stick this on and put it on there. Uh, Ken is a veteran in a lot of the restaurants, fast food, give us a military discount. And that really makes a difference especially now that everything's gone up so much. The Hardee's gives us like 20%, which is really nice. Oh, it's good water. I got some of these. Trying to think who I got these from. I got some of these from Laura Bemos a long time ago, but I think I got these more recently, maybe in a craft lot from Shop Goodwill. I can't remember. Uh, they're the resin pours that people do. Uh, and this one had little glitter things in it. I'm not sure I'm going to use it. It might end up being overpowering to what I'm trying to do, but I kind of want to go for more of a kind of a garden look or a more feminine garden look. And then in contrast to the great big chain, I'll probably scatter those little purple roses in there at some point. Now, where is my focal bead? Here it is. This is the bead I wanted to work around. And you all feel free to come and go. You don't have to stay. I know this is long and monotonous. I just have trouble doing videos where I don't have somebody to talk to, just to sit and talk to myself. I don't. So I do them live. Oh, I love the look at that. See, I've got the little bead right there. I just love that little wedding cake bead. Let's see. And I guess I should be more explanatory. What I'm doing here to do these wrapped wires, I push that down like that. So I've got just basically a corner. And then I come in with my long nose and I bring it all the way around. And then when it gets down to there, I move my pliers a half turn. And this is what you end up with. And then you just take that little end, you hold on to the loop, and take this little end and wrap it around. And what you're doing is securing that to where it can't come undone. And I'm going to have to use the pliers to do that. I'm going to try to get it to come around one more time. I love this bead. I think I have some more of them somewhere in this mess. All these years we've been doing this, you know, how you accumulate stuff. And, you know, or I'll see a bead and think, oh, I have to keep that. And still not happy with that little piece of wire sticking out there. Okay, now let me get a jump ring. I'm going to probably put that right towards the middle because I like it. I love bracelets. I end up, I went through mine and tried to pare down stuff I didn't wear, you know, costume pieces, and I've still just got it everywhere. And you know, the really sad thing is I'm afraid to wear my good stuff. I'm afraid of losing it. And I'm always losing rings down in digging in thrift stores and stuff. It was funny. We were in an antique mall one time downtown, and they had some like it was actually really not worth even my time. But antique pieces of broken jewelry down in little cups and things on this table, and I was digging, and Ken was on the other side of the table digging, and then he holds up this ring, and he said, "Look at this." And, he was all excited. It was my ring that I had dropped. He found it. I was fixing to buy it again. Oh, man. Well, I lost my grandmother's signet ring that I wore as a pinky ring. And it was 18 karat gold or 24. I can't, 24, I believe it was. 24 karat gold. And my grandfather had given it to my grandmother in 1914, and it had both of their initials in it. And I was working at Kmart in high school, and I bagged it up in somebody's stuff. Never saw it again. And my daddy, he just almost cried over it. My diamond jewelry and even my good wedding bands, I very rarely wear any of my good stuff because I'm just terrified, especially earrings. I'm terrified of losing them. And and it seems like, I don't know, the older I get, the more absent-minded. And oh, you did find it? Oh, good. My son-in-law lost his wedding band on their honeymoon in Gatlinburg. He likes to twiddle and fiddle with stuff, and he was spinning it, and he spun it right down in the booth at the restaurant, and there was no way to get it out. And they asked somebody, and there was no way short of demolishing the restaurant to get his wedding band. And she got him a silicone one. She said, "I'm not buying him another wedding band." He likes to just fiddle with stuff, I guess would be a good way of. I don't know if I like that blue. I think I have another one of those in a different color. Let's see. Got that one, but that's going to be a lot of green. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I picked up this strand of dyed coral at a thrift store the other day. I was tickled to get it. Mm, this little bead much. Maybe if I move it towards the end, it wouldn't be too much green. Look right here real fast. I have some really pretty ceramic beads this pink in. Let's see. This is mesmerizing television. Feel free to leave anytime you want to. Usually I have my sidekick with me, and he's on the phone, but he's usually, "Hi, Deborah." Oh, well, good. I appreciate that. Uh, it was fun. Uh, I'm making just a bracelet tonight on this thick. I can't remember. I'm thinking this might have been a necklace. It could have been a belt. I have a whole bunch of old belts that I saved back from my junk bracelets, but I think this may have been actually a necklace. But and I put this on it, and kind of going to do like a uh, more feminine colors, like with the beads and things. I think I'm going to put that one way down there so that I'm going to have a little bead so it won't go through there. I sat outside. I actually put sun in on my hair today. I haven't colored my gray in a long time because of my eyes. Most of you probably know I've had all that eye issue going on. And I didn't, where I had the corneal abrasion and then the Bell's palsy, you can't close your eye very well. And I didn't want to get hair color in my eye. And all I've been at the eye hospital more than I've been anywhere this whole last year and a half. So I had not colored my hair, and the gray was really starting to get to me. So I had some sunny in here. So today I just kind of got that on there and tried to be really careful and sat out in the sun, and then came in and ran the hair dryer through it. And I think it colored. I did it twice, so I think I got some of the gray colored up. It's a natural kind of color. It's not, I'm blonde, so it doesn't look red on me. But I'm a dark, not particularly attractive color blonde, just blonde. But I usually use like the Garnier or something like that and just shampoo it in. But I just was a little bit afraid, whereas Sunion's mainly peroxide and lemon juice. So my eye does shut pretty much. That one, it doesn't shut so much in a hurry, like if something's coming at me, like a little rubber ball or something, which sometimes does come at me. Uh, no, that's true, Deborah. That's true. My father is where I got my blonde from, and when he died, his hair, it still didn't really look gray, gray. It looked blondish gray. But my mom had some Cherokee blood in her hair, and features and stuff had a darker, you know. But I got my father's blonde ruddy coloring. I do have Native American teeth. I have those little, they're actually called shovel teeth, I think, on the backs of your teeth. Actually, Melungeon people have it, but so do a lot of Cherokee. Okay, let's see. What do we got going here? It's looking pretty good. I don't mind how that looks. Let's see. I think I'm going to add, I don't like it next to that one, but I like it right there. I think I'll put it right there. If somebody comes in and I miss you coming in, forgive me. I don't have my sidekick. He's on the phone. And tomorrow's going to be fun. My son's off work, and he's going to come over. He loves to come play with Parker, and it'll be a fun morning. My son has a blue tick. Those of you who watched our show probably had seen Belle, who passed away, but she actually passed away at the vet's. We did not have her put down. We thought she was doing better, and we talked to them at lunch, and then they said call back at 3:30, and at 2:30 they called back and said she had passed away. But anyway, he has a blue tick hound also. They're the same kind that UT has as their mascot, and his really does look like the UT. Ours was smaller. It's a different kind of blue tick, but it almost reminds you of the hee haw dog in its attitude. And her name's Molly, and he's just always going on and fighting with Molly. Well, last night she got stuck up under his SUV. It's a Escalade, and the middle part is kind of lower or something. And she'd gotten up in there and couldn't get out. And she's older and has some health issues. She almost died a while back. And anyway, uh, Ken had to go over there, and it took them forever. They finally got the dog. They had jacked the car up, and still couldn't get her out. And she is a funny, funny dog. She's got attitude, and he'll call and he'll just be raving and ranting about it. He loves her to death. It was his wife's dog before he ever met her. It's an older dog, but he adores that dog. Blue ticks are very sweet dogs and very smart, but they just really are different than Labradors, and we're used to Labradors. And my daughter's got two Labradors, a yellow and a cho- chocolate. I always want to call him black because ours was black lab. And the one we had 17 years was a black lab, and I still hadn't gotten over Luke. That was my dog. And he's buried up at the back of the yard. And he loved when we moved here to chase our neighbor when he hooks his trash cans onto the back of his car. He with some kind of contraption and rolls them down the driveway with big long driveways. It makes all this noise. And Max's whole life revolved around chasing Andy down the driveway. And I still, every once in a while, when he takes his trash can, I expect her to come out of that grave there in the garden and go after Andy. But anyway, but blue ticks are not really the same as labs. They're just equally as smart. They're just not. I love black labs. Uh, I love that dog. And he had something else in besides just black lab, but he looked just like a black lab. Our daughter drug him home from Red Lobster. Somebody was going to kill him. That's what our kids would always tell us. If we don't take him, they're going to kill him. We had more animals that somebody was going to kill. But anyway, I loved my black lab. My daughter's dogs, they're the funniest dogs. She sent me the funniest picture of one of them. He makes the funniest faces. He lays upside down some way and makes these faces. The yellow lab's as smart as he could be. He's much smarter than the other one's his puppy. He was the stud, and that was what they got for studding. But the yellow one is just incredibly smart, too smart for his own good. He reasons and stuff almost like a person. Five and how could you surrender a dog? I mean, I can see maybe when they're younger, but gosh, if you had a dog that long, how in the world could you? And I'm doing wrapped loops on these jewelry, on these bracelet dangles because I don't want them to come off. We had this demo cat in all of my cats would always get killed by dogs in the neighborhood where we used to live. And my daughter is in her early 30s. And this cat, a boy took her to get it in high school. That's how old the cat was. And the cat hated me. And I was the one, my daughter and I took it to get spayed. I mean, neutered. And oh, he hated me. And the kids said it's because I shoot him off the couch with a pillow one time, but I'm real allergic to cats. I'm okay if I don't touch them, like touch my eyes. If I touch a cat and then touch my eyes, I'm going to be in trouble. Let me see who's messaging me. Hold on. But anyway, he died right after the dog did. I think the dog died first. No, the cat died first, I think. But that was Ken's cat. It didn't like Melissa and I anymore, but it liked Ken and followed him around like a dog. And before Max died, you'd see Ken going up through there and a black lab going behind him, and then there'd be a cat behind the black lab. And Ken had it trained to shake hands like the dog did and everything. But the cat hated me. I was just leaned up against my daughter's car one day talking, and the cat came running at me. My daughter-in-law was sitting right beside me. She can testify. The cat literally ran up behind me, bit me on the shoulder, and then ran and acted like he didn't do it. And the cat hated me. He absolutely hated me. Hey, honey, check the family messages. I don't know what he's talking about. I know, but he sent a message I can't understand it. I'm on live. He must have been using his voice to text thing because it doesn't make any sense. We have one of those family text messages. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm just making a bracelet, and I'm actually, I think it's a necklace. I can't remember. It may have been a belt. I have a whole bunch of belts too. And I put a really pretty larger clasp on it just for something different. So I'm kind of like going for the contrast of the big chunky bracelet and real dainty pastel feminine. This was kind of the centerpiece I'm going with. It's that wedding cake bead. But that's what I'm doing. And just playing. It's for myself. It's not to sell. We're gonna have fun tomorrow at my daughter's. She'll be working, but we're gonna have fun anyway. Oh, I've got to clip that one. I just hate these little trying to get these little. There we go. Elizabeth, do you ever use your crimping tool to tuck in sharp ends on stuff? I'm not sure it's the greatest thing, but it's about the only thing I know to do. Like after, when you're doing a wrap loop, do you ever come in with your crimping tool and just uh, these are really heavy gauge. I think they're probably bigger than 18 gauge. Uh, that I ordered off of Amazon to do junk bracelets with. I could get by without them on this one. I don't think I necessarily need them, but I'm using them because they're nice and pretty. Oh, Barbie. I got some watercolor pencils today. I'd seen Kristen using them, and I had had some once before, and I didn't know how to use them correctly, and I didn't like what they looked like. So I don't know what I did with them. If I threw them in a donation box to the Goodwill, or what I did in a craft lot or something. I can't find them. So I bought some more today. Dollar General has some for like $2 and something. They're probably not the best, but I'm just piddling in the. I have no art talent at all. I mean, like zero minus two. And I love art. You'll see art on my Facebook page where I share art and stuff, but I don't have any. I took art in eighth grade and I was so excited to take it. And the teacher held my picture up. We were studying perspective, and I had drawn a little main street with a fix-it shop and stuff, and held it up, basically making fun of it, and the whole class laughed at it. And I never got over it. It affected my feeling about art. Now, crafts, and I've taught crafts and had crafts and crafts. I had a design in Crafts and Things magazine one time, but I, as far as art itself, the art, I've never had any kind of confidence after that. And teachers need to think before they say and do things like that. But anyway, I don't know if y'all are close enough really even to see. Let me see if I can fix it a little bit. There we go. She knew my parents. Her husband worked with my grandfather. So I think she felt like she could say whatever to me, that they would never complain or anything. And I was, it it didn't scar me for life, but as far as art's concerned, it did. I mean, I'm not art talented. I can't draw a circle, or my handwriting's terrible, and but my daughter's a nurse, and she said that my writing is worse than doctors' handwriting. It's not good. I'm gonna add. I cut up this necklace. It had a bunch of these little lavender roses, little carved roses. I'm going to scatter those through there. That's kind of what I had in mind doing. Most of the things that you're going to see me doing on here, half of the stuff on it probably came out of something I recycled stuff. Uh, that's what I like doing. I've got these two stones that kind of fit the color scheme, but no, I don't like that one on there. It looks like soapstone or something. I don't like it. Now this one I kind of like. Not wild about it. I might hold off. I have these little blue ceramic turtles. I thought about. They're kind of purple. Don't like them either. I'm in one of those moods, I guess. Nothing. Nothing hits me right. Now these, I don't need big heavy jump rings for those, but it would look more uniform, I guess, if I used them. Let's see. Get some sticks out. Hi, Jen. How are you? I hope you're doing better. Jen's had a long haul. Good, I'm glad. I saw where Meredith graduated nursing school. I remember that. The pinning ceremony was very serious and important. Oops, that one didn't do. Let's see. Oh, I'm so clumsy. This is mesmerizing television. Oh, goodness. I remember Melissa had to do that. Oh, let's see. 2 or 3 weeks before her wedding. And she was literally a nervous wreck and trying to plan a wedding. She should have never tried to do it all, at one time. She about drove us crazy. Well, there they are. I've got it to where you can see the beads, and you can't see what I'm doing now, can you? Not that it's that exciting. I'm just doing wrapped loops on these beads and things to I had a dumb medical test. I was waiting to come back like a week. Took about a week and a half, and I do not do well. I mean, that's like an understatement. I do not do well. My family would say that's not even remotely close. But I don't do well waiting on results for anything. And it came back good yesterday. But anyway, oh, was she going through a divorce? Oh my goodness, Jen. Hi, Cindy. I didn't know she was going through a divorce. I am so sorry. How's Cindy Lou Bob? I got some watercolor pencils today, Cindy. My daughter went to college on partial cheerleading scholarship, and everybody goes, oh, like it's just something silly. Uh, she had a dorm room out there. She was really supposed to stay in the dorm. And she decided at the last minute to live at home. Well, every morning she had to leave our house at 4:30 for cheerleading practice at 5 to 8 in the morning. Then she had class. Then she had clinicals. And then she went that night to work at Red Lobster uh, for her job. And in the midst of all that, I get a phone call one morning. She's collapsed at clinicals. And anyway, long story. But she's okay. But it is nursing school is one of the very hardest things uh, that you can do. Well, I hate that their marriage. Is there any chance of it being put back together, Jim? I guess at this stage, no. Of course, nothing's ever possible. But and on these late night chats, what I'm doing is I don't leave the chat where people can see it after the fact. Like after the video uploads, you can see comments people leave after, but you can't see the chat. Now, let's get those two on there. And get one of my. I have so many issues with my hands that I have to use. Like the only pointed nose pliers I can use are these ergonomic ones. And I have, I just, my hands give me a fit. I think it's partly from being a church musician for many, many, many years. And I remember when the carpal tunnel first hit. Of course, I knit too and stuff, crochet and do stuff, and all of it combined, I guess. But my hands and arms would hurt so badly, and I'd wait till the prayer. And when they'd pray, I would shake out my hands beside the organ bench or the piano bench, whatever I was playing. And I always thought if anybody had their eyes open during the prayer, they'd probably think I was trying to fly away. Then the nerves die after a while. I did everything but the surgery. And it would have been a financial hardship for me to be out of work for 6 months to have it. Couldn't play for 6 months. I'm scattering these little plastic beads I recycled out of a necklace around in here. It is. Okay. I mean, I hope so, Jim. I just always hate to see any marriage bust up. I'm always telling Ken I would have left him, but I knew he'd stick me with those kids and the pets. I'm teasing. Of course, I used to always tell my kids if they couldn't find me, I would be with, oh, what's his name? River Monsters. You know, the guy from River Monsters. And, or I would be with the guy that goes around to the diners and eats and stuff in that little red car. Divers and drivers and divers. I don't know, whatever the name of the show is. I used to always tease him I'd be going around eating at greasy spoons with him if they couldn't find me. Uh-oh, that one didn't hold on there. Well, so she really having all that while she was trying to go to nursing school. She really, she had a lot on her plate. You had to make, like on the tests and things, trying to remember. I mean, there was, you had to pass these tests periodically, and you had to have like a really high score. Like there was very little breathing room, and they the whole point is that there's no margin for error in medicine. You can't just say, "Oops, I made a mistake." But the stress is terrible. Then if you're going through a divorce, that would be awful. Jen, we were talking, I think it's before you came on, unless you were just quiet for a while. We were talking about changes in the jewelry community over the last bit. I don't know time wise, just since we got into it. Uh, it's not as fun anymore, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I got rid of a lot of jewelry. We still got plenty, but we're not going to be going on the schedule we had been. I mean, we're just not going to be killing ourselves like that. We had the sale way into the night. Then Ken got the paperwork out. Then I got back up out of bed about after midnight, 2, 3 o'clock, and invoiced. And then we would get up and be at my daughter's that next morning at 8 o'clock. It takes about 20 minutes to get there. Babysit all day, leave there at 5, go to another town, do the church job, come back home, do our shipping, and then be back at my daughter's that next morning to babysit. And you know, it's just been really hard physically on both of us. And I wanted to maybe move our night, and I didn't want to stomp on somebody else. Which back in the day we didn't. We didn't stomp on other people unless we had to. But anyway, neither here nor there. But I think the rule of thumb is now, you know, it is what it is. You come on when you come on. And I'm not paying too much attention to getting all these on one side of the chain because it just isn't that much noticeable once you get it all junked up. Well, uh, you know, what you could do 4 years ago, you can't always do now. We used to stay on till 2 and 3 in the morning, and we weren't babysitting all day, but anyway, I just I want to make jewelry. I want to knit. I want to do art. I even wish I had had time while Parker was little. I have a smocking pleater. I would have loved to have smocked him some little outfits when his daddy would still let him wear them. Men always get to a point with smocked clothing where they say no more. Ken told me one time, got my son, he said he is not going to kindergarten wearing smocked clothing. But I'm going to have to put a bead on there, I think. Yeah. Well, what in the world have I done here? Oh, I didn't make the whole wrap. That's what I did wrong. And I'm doing what's considered wrapped loops. Um, and then I'll take this and wrap it around the wire. Um, you don't have to do that necessarily. I don't always do it. Usually on the junk bracelets, I do because they're so heavy. And you take this and wrap it around, it secures the loop, where just a simple loop isn't quite as secure. These are a lot more trouble. Okay, let's cut that little sucker. I'm probably running my crimping tool. Okay, let's put that on. I'm used to those little shrimpy cheapo jump rings, and these Amazon ones, they were pretty expensive to get this heavy of a gauge. And I'm not used to having to put that much muscle into just opening the loop. Okay, let's put that one right there. There's one thing with those big heavy loops, nothing's going anywhere. I was thinking, uh, I made a lot of bracelets early in the day when I first started doing this, and I just used stone beads, and some of them were pretty good size. Well, I don't know if y'all know Vanessa that's in the jewelry community. She's not around as much as she used to be, but her husband passed away. But while he was in the hospital, she went to see him and she was wearing the bracelet she had just bought from me. And he was terminal and was in bed. And she leaned over to kiss him. And when she did, she conked him in the head with my bracelet. And she was laughing about it, but anyway, they were pretty heavy. Tried to use a lot of stone, and I'm gonna do one more purple one right there for now. Uh, there's a lot of people that were around in the early days that I don't even know where they are. That one girl that had a bunch of fish. You remember her? She had aquariums and stuff, and I can't think of her name. Uh, she used to come on a lot with Carol bargain shopping, and some of the early folks. can't think of her name. And I used to watch a lady that did home decor when I first started watching YouTube, stuff. And I can't think of her name. And one of them I still do have on my list and watch is, of course, my mind just drew a blank. Uh, shoot. She changed her channel name too. She's a retired police officer. Oh, pooh, I can't think of her name. Sweet as can be. Uh, you're supposed to, do as say, not as I do, but you're supposed to hold your clippers down so that you get that flush cut and it pops out down like that. I just have trouble doing that. So do as I say, don't do as I do. There we go. I'm always having to have Ken pull pieces of wire out of my foot where I step on pieces of these wire that I've cut off, and he has to go in and try to get it out. I'm a diabetic too, so it's not a good thing. And they go down in there and oh, they hurt. I had one for days and couldn't figure out why my toe was hurt, and there was a piece of wire in it. It isn't always a big piece of wire. It can be just a. We're getting there. Okay, let's put some silver metal in there. How about that? These are little silver daisies. Could put that in there. And that. Hmm. I don't know. That ain't doing it for me. Let me think here. What have I got? What about these? These are like a peacock. Oh, are you getting ready to have a birthday tonight? Midnight? Happy birthday, Jen. I just had one April 30th, and this one seemed to bother me more for some reason. Certain ones just kind of do. Corey or Cody. Corey. Oh, uh, I know who you're. Jen, did somebody in your chat pass away? Uh, is it? Tell me her name. Cody. Yeah, I had just. She used to moderate for uh who. I bought some stuff in some Ella. I think was it Ella's chat? Ella and Picky Nicky. Hi, Vicky. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Vicky. Oh, I hate that about her. I knew she was a serious diabetic, and she was nice to me. It was Ella and Picky Nicky's auction, I think. Wasn't that the last one she was calling for? Moderate, I think it was Ella. We've had so many people in our little close knit community that have passed away. The one that Of course, everybody knows the one that truly got me was Susan Gill. I still haven't dealt with it. Uh, and I can't believe that Painting the Roses Red, that one was hard for me. Gracie, her granddaughter, I kind of keep not close contact, but she wants a charm bracelet, and I was supposed to be hunting her one. Thought about just making her one because I can't find what she wants. But I like that. I must have gotten these beads from Kristen. I'm thinking I did. Kristen, if you're watching, did I get these from you? Thinking I did. And I like how they. And if I did, I'm thinking these were some pretty expensive beads. I forgot what she called them. If y'all like beads, which I love beads, even when I wasn't doing a whole lot, I love beads. Kristen has a bead show on Thursdays. She calls it Virtual Bead Shop. Kristen Designs and Do-Overs. And it's so much fun. A lot of the things she does aren't real expensive. Uh, she said she's getting tired of doing all the dollar stuff, but she'll have like 3 beads for $1. So, just findings and stuff. And I think this next show, next Thursday, she's going to bring a lot of strands. But she used to have a bead shop in the. I didn't know Barbara Paul that well. San Juan, yeah, that one got me. Yeah, and Kim, shoot, she loved brooches. Kim, what am I trying to? I can't think of her last name. And I had one die that I wasn't supposed to announce on the channel, and her kids told me, but I said, "Well, can I announce on my channel?" And they said no. So if you got somebody you hadn't seen in a while, they died because I couldn't tell you. Uh, Kim Webster, yes, that's it. Were they going after your cats, Vicky? The dogs? Were they coming after your cats and you were trying to? Uh, I've stood and watched 2 different dogs kill my cat. The sweetest cat I ever had, the neighbor's little weenie dog killed it right in front of us. I mean, it was traumatic. What accident today, Cindy? You're losing me. You're losing me. I don't know what you're talking about, Cindy. I actually almost killed a boxer one time, Vicky. I don't like boxers. I took a metal rake after it. It was coming after my little 2-year-old son. in our yard. It was our neighbor's dog, and I took after it with that metal rake, and I would have killed it, but it left. My cousin's year old 32-year-old son was killed in a work accident. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. I'm sorry. Oh man. Man, I'm sorry, Cindy. You know what I'm afraid of more than dog attacks? Black bears are real bad in Tennessee this year for some reason. We had a guy attacked in a subdivision not too far from where we live. And then there was one found injured over on the other road, and then one of our neighbors had one in his yard. Uh, like I have a fear of when Ken was going out in the night to let Belle out that he'd get on a bear. Was this one of your cousins in the chat, Cindy, that we would know? I think that one would be too young to be this one you're talking about. Well, this silly jump ring doesn't even. There we go. Okay, let's put that one right there. So none of them of your family that's in the chat, that wasn't any of them's. Yeah, I like that color mixed in there. I think that looks pretty. I'm not going to put too many down near the end because I don't think I'm going to need all that length. I forgot what Kristen called these beads, but I believe they were right expensive for a half string, but I can't remember what they were. They were something special, but I just can't remember. And why I'm buying beads when I have buckets and buckets of beads. I don't even know what I have. It's stupid. I just don't do well waiting on medical tests. And the first time I ever had a mammogram, uh, and it, you know, well, it wasn't necessarily a routine. It wasn't. But anyway, my daughter's birthday was in the works. And while I was waiting for those test results, I went out and spent $300 on paper mache cows and uh, Mardi Gras decorations for her birthday, like just all kinds of paper mache, not Mardi Gras, but what am I trying to say? Uh, poo. Grass skirts and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't Hawaiian, but it was more like a luau kind of party. Well, I guess it was Hawaiian. I can't remember. But I rented all these big, huge paper mache cows. I don't know why. And I bought some kind of sugar cane in the produce department. And I thought, I don't do well waiting on test results. I mean, I'm not necessarily afraid to die. I'm not, I don't. Nobody understands. My own daughter doesn't understand, but I don't do well waiting on test results. And don't do well is a real understatement. And some of the times when I'm waiting on test results, I shop and buy cows. I bought a full tiki hut thing to set up in our den, and I don't know what all else we had that year. It was, Mom's waiting on test results. Wow. Hey, Kristen. I was just advertising your bead sale on Thursdays. Did I buy these from you, Kristen? I'm using them, and I think I got them from you, and you said they were some sort of treatment, but I can't remember. It was a half strand. Do you remember what those were? They're just what this bracelet needed. That's what I'm working on. I like it. I like how they look in the color mix. Anyway, I'm putting them in here, and I couldn't remember what they were called. You had a fancy name for them, but I can't remember. Yes, let me see. AB lantern cut. Okay. Can you see them? This is what I'm working on, Kristen. It's a big old chunky piece of either a belt or a necklace that I'm reusing, and then I put this really pretty clip. I think it's actually for a keychain or a purse charm or something, but I like how it looks, and it's for me, so who cares? And I'm not even really paying too much attention to which end of the bracelet the stuff's hooked on. I'm just kind of doing it. And I'll probably put something on both ends. I love these beads. Let's see if I need to put a bead on the bottom of it. Let's see. Oh, there's something in my pliers. Hold on. Piece of wire. I didn't take my nighttime gabapentin from my face, and I don't want to. Cindy, I hope you sleep. And I'm sure that this has brought back all kinds of emotions from your own son's passing and accident and everything. I'm sorry. Elizabeth, I'm sorry. What's going on? What's going on? If you don't have to tell us. I just but I have been there and done that too. It's for 10 years. My mom got hit by a car when she was 79 and she lived to be 89. I'm just doing wrapped loops on these, whatever Kristen said they were, lantern cut beads. And I'm putting a little acrylic bead at the bottom to secure it on there so it won't slide. The T-pin thing won't start. I think that's what those are called. Won't slide through. I need to get the flush cutter up next to the thing, and I think I wouldn't have so much to have to tuck under if I actually clipped it correctly. I'm more worried about my eye and that thing flipping up into it. Your eyes are so precious. You know how your Google images, if you save your photos onto Google, uh, they show up on your smart TV too, on YouTube. And the image of when I had the corneal abrasion came up, and I didn't remember how bad it was. And I didn't go to the doctor because I had been going anyway to the eye hospital with that sixth nerve palsy from the vaccine, and I didn't want to go. And I waited like a week to go, and I kept thinking it would get better, taking Benadryl and stuff, and it didn't get better. It got worse, and I didn't realize how bad it did look till that image popped up in my Google memories, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm blessed that I can see it all. Ugh, I'm gonna break my pliers on those 18 gauge. And it seemed like once I had, well, I don't know if y'all know what sixth nerve palsy is. It is not Bell's palsy. It's where your eye, it's the nerve around your eye, and you can't turn your eye side to side. And you're cross-eyed like you see double. Well, when I had that, it seemed like every time anything happened while we were babysitting, it flew into my eye, whether it was a ball or a computer tablet or whatever. But it would always hit that eye that had problems already. And he didn't mean to. It just was accident, or even his little hand would pop up and hit me in the eye by accident. One time, I think it was a foot. But, I mean, he didn't mean to. It just my eye was in the wrong place. I need to try to figure out how long I'm going to make that so I can. With these kind of thick charm bracelets, you really don't want to just measure it because it's never correct. Let's see. The one I made last night was too loose. I think I'm going to take, oops, 2 loops off. I just dropped one of those lantern cut beads. Hold on. I think I'm going to take 2 loops off of there. Oh, do you all remember? Some of y'all are younger than me, and probably most of you. Uh, when we were little, and when my brother was 10 years older than me, uh, oh man, uh, they had little plastic cowboys and Indians and horses and fences and all that. Do y'all, any of y'all old enough to have ever seen those? Uh, and my husband keeps saying you're not supposed to say Indian, and I am part Cherokee, so I can say it if I want to. Uh, but anyway, I found some at the thrift store, and I hadn't seen any in ages. I'm thinking when my son was little, he had the army men, but I still hadn't seen the cowboys and Indians and all the little horses, and the men fit on the horses and have, uh, so I washed them in a tub of water, and I took them to him today. He had asked me, they took him to this farm where he got to ride a pony for the first time. And he told me he has a cowboy hat and everything. He would like something with cowboys. And when I saw those, of course, I grabbed them. And I told Ken ahead of time, I said, no, we can't play cowboys and Indians like we used to. We have to be politically correct with the cowboys and Indians. And so we had them all set up. We had they came with teepees and stuff. And we had them all friends. And they were all working together. And there was a little bear that came with it, like a black bear, brown bear, whatever. And we had the Indians trying to chase the bear out of camp and the cowboys helping them. And I told him, men don't think about things. Anyway, it was funny. I could have, my grandfather, had he done so, which he didn't, could have collected, in the state of Tennessee, he could have collected payment for Native Americans, whatever fund they call that. He had enough bloodline. And now the bloodline is reduced to where I'm actually well under the required amount of native blood. Um, my mom never told me until I was older. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing ever. And I wondered why all my granddaddy's brothers, there was like 7 or 8 of them, they all looked like Indians. And my mom, her profile looked that way, and one of my mom's brothers. And it all kind of made sense then. But I've got these little Indians that were my grandmothers. And they had been, I think, on my grandfather's side of the family. It's about the only thing I own that's. But I do have a picture somewhere of the lady. And she was married to a little teeny guy that guarded the salt mines during the Civil War up at Saltville, Virginia. And he was too young to join, and he went and tried to join, and they wouldn't let him fight. So they stationed him up there guarding the salt mines. And he married her. And but anyway, that just shows you how mores or whatever have changed, that my mom was made to feel ashamed of that, so she didn't want to broadcast it, where I was so excited about it. Looks like an empty spot in the middle I need to fill with something, and maybe like a a pretty bead of some kind. Let's see. What about that one? Got like a piece of a ribbon or something on it. I don't like how that looks. Initially, I was going to use that. I just don't like it. It doesn't float my boat. And this is my bracelet, so I can make it however I want it to. I need another really pretty glass bead. Let's see what we can find. I pulled a bunch of beads when I was making. None of these are right. Hold on. You know how some of those things where you'll know it when you see it kind of thing, you know it's the right thing when you see it. Yeah. I have a whole hoard of amber, and I have been hoarding it, and I will confess it. Ah, there you go. Well, no. Okay, here we go. I believe some of these might do. Let's see. I have drawers and drawers and drawers of beads. Okay, these are pretty, but I don't know if they're going to look right. Let's see. I kind of like that. And I've got enough of them to where I could. Well, that's not the same thing. I may add those to it. And let's see. If any of those would. Yeah, that would add something. I'm not sure on that one. Okay, let's see what we need to. I hate when those teeth pin things get corroded looking. Yeah, I think I better put a bead on that one to keep it on there. Well, Barbie, you're winning all the awards this week for clumsy. Like I told you all earlier, if you need to go out, feel free to go on and go. I know this is exciting television. So just feel free to come and go as you need to. I just can't do a tutorial video and talk to myself. I have to feel like somebody's out there I'm talking to. There's that. That'll be pretty. We had sauerkraut for supper, and I have been thirsty ever since supper. Well, I just pretty well messed that one up, didn't I? Let's just cut that and start over. Sometimes I pick up these pins that are so heavy and don't want to bend. Ugh. Put that one on and see what it looks like. I use my old pliers so I don't bend up my good ones. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. No. Where's the dumb bead I fixed? Don't you hate to do something stupid like there it is? I hate when I do stupid things like that. Okay. When I'm making a little dainty charm bracelet on the thinner chain, I worry about which way the charms are going and all that. But I don't on these. I just put stuff on and let it fall where it may. I usually have so much on there you'd never notice. Yeah, I like that bead. It's a pretty bead. Get tangled up. Let's see. Put some more. I think I'll do that one. It's just very quiet for our channel, isn't it? Y'all probably aren't used to coming into our channel and things being quiet. This time of night, I don't know that you want to hear a bunch of racket. You all can visit among yourselves. Last night, Francis and Frugal came in, and it's funny that we're in a community on YouTube with all these people we've never met in person usually, and I can just say Francis and Frugal, and y'all know who I'm talking about. Uh, I hate when I have a mess and I'm trying to work. No, I'm funny about that. I like how it's looking. Okay, let's see. I need another little lavender one right there. Let's see. If you don't know how to do a wrapped loop, I'll try to show you. You just bend it in a 90-degree angle, and then you come in with your round nose, and you go all the way down like that. And then you kind of just turn your pliers about a half turn, and you bring that over like this. And then you want to take a flat set of pliers and go round and round the stem down there. Okay, let's see where we're going to need to put that. Where the purple one needs to be. Right in here, I think needs one. I need one of those. I had one and I think I sold it. One of those water things that makes a water noise when it's so quiet. Okay, I want to add some more of those lantern beads. Uh-oh, I'm getting sleepy. Oh, where's the blasted hole? There we go. Okay, like that. Remember, we got our little man with the scarf on, and we're gonna take it around a few times. Cut that off. Okay, let's see where this one needs to go. Hi, Doug. How are you? I am working on just a simple bracelet. Just kind of, it's not exactly one of my junk bracelets, but it's just a whole bunch of pretty beads, and I've got them on this chain that's like what I use for my junk bracelets, but it's not. I like that. Then put another one or two of those lantern beads on there. This is a real exciting show, Doug. It's really spellbinding. You just can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Will she cut this little piece off, or will she forget? She could forget. And in case you are late coming in, I use my crimping tool for calming down those little sharp ends that stick out when you do a um, wrapped loop. Okay. I'm just kind of uh, I'm filling in places that and I gotta get a drink. Trying to see where there's blank spaces where you need something else. I think I need something right here. Another one of those uh, lantern beads. You flit about finding stuff and all. Yeah, that's especially these. That's half the fun of doing junk jewelry is you're diving around trying to see what you got. Okay, where'd the bead go? Here it is. Oh, I didn't cut it close enough. Oh boy, that was close. It was stupid too. I turned it the wrong way and fired it right at my head. Okay, there we go. You have to be careful with wire cutters, and I'm not careful enough. And I think I'm going to stop there. I'm going to come back in and add some more things to it. Um, and I'll probably put, I've got to see how it fits me. I'll probably put another ring like that one on the end here instead of just having that like that. I actually have already pulled the ring I'm going to use. But I've got to check on the length that I need. Let me see what I got. Yeah, it just barely fits. That's the problem with these. You think they're going to be, so I'll probably put an extender on there. Of course, by the time I put that on there, that will add about a half an inch. That's probably what I'll just see that first. And because I like them to have movement, I don't want it to be. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep, guys. I'm tired, and I have a pill I forgot to take for my face, and I'll probably be on off and on doing stuff like this. And don't ever feel like you have to come in and stay because I know it's boring. But sometimes when I'm up at night and uh, just coming into a live, even if I don't chat, I just feel like I've got friends. I know that sounds so stupid. But anyway, well, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you all for coming in and patiently watching me bumble around. But I'll talk to you guys later. Tomorrow's Friday, thank goodness. And we'll be here. See you guys. Good night.